This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome back to, if I don't trip over a cat there, another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this fine Sunday. Probably the last time I will speak with you until Monday afternoon. That said, today mentioned in the 9 Things column by Kurt Levins on Edmonton Journal. Every week we always have something to take away from that. We could talk about our 5th round draft pick from this latest draft. Not much to be done there until things heat up towards the World Juniors and we actually do the full list of all the prospects. So we talk about, Andreas Athanasiou. What the heck's he doing? Mentioned in a 9 Things article after going unqualified by the Oilers, not signing with the Oilers, still being a free agent. Well, you know what? It is that kind of season right now for the Oilers of all possibilities still on the table, depending on trades, depending on cap space, depending on everything. And what I have to say is straight up in the article, point number 6 mentions that Athanasiou and his agent turned down a $2 million by 2-year deal. And it's kind of like, you know what? He just probably won't get any richer by going to market. And that doesn't appear to be the case for any free agent now. And Kurt Levins kind of mentions, well, he didn't like the role he was offered more than the contract he was offered, which could be completely fair, right? For the Oilers, were you really going to roll out Athanasiou on the top line with Connor McDavid to start the year? Probably not. You were probably going to solve that situation with Tyler Ennis or somebody. But again, right, now Andreas Athanasiou, who even if he didn't start the year with Connor McDavid, had a chance to play there at some point in the upcoming season had he signed. That's just the way it goes in Edmonton land. So again, kicking yourself a little bit, that's for sure. So for Andreas Athanasiou, the question is maybe not so much can the Oilers afford him, can the Oilers get him back? It's does he kind of sit there and circle back and say, man, nobody wants to offer me anything. At least I know what I had with you guys. I'll come back to you guys. And I think that's about the only situation because I don't think Athanasiou's going to find a home in Detroit again. That just doesn't seem... I don't think Yzerman would have traded him if he was going to be part of the long-term plans in Detroit. I mean, yeah, sure, for the rental market, you got 2 seconds. I guess for Yzerman, if you sign Athanasiou for a cheap deal, you're actually coming out way ahead. But... right, look at it that way. I don't think that's the likelihood. So for Athanasiou, if he's going to return anywhere, it will be back to the Oilers. But return is the key word because is he likely to return or will he take that $1 million or $950K deal somewhere else and go and play out a season and then try and get a raise? Because for Athanasiou, yeah, you know what, the offensive production wasn't that bad, but everything else was pretty awful for Athanasiou. And when we talk about offensive production, we're talking with Detroit prior to coming to the 2 points in 9 games with the Oilers. And you know what? End of the day, yeah, it's a tough one because you'd like to see Athanasiou come back and succeed with the Oilers and us at least have something for those second round picks. But now you kind of break the trade tree and all that, and it's a tough go. However, you know what? There is something to be said for working out a deal here and getting it going because the Oilers are still potentially just that one piece short on the left wing, and especially the question is, would you take a kick at Athanasiou again if you have Nygaard left in Europe, right? We're talking about Nygaard, Haas, or Patrick Russell potentially being left in Europe to not only free up a roster spot but also cap space. Would you not try and come around and sign Athanasiou? Now, obviously, in my queue before Athanasiou, you've got Dominic Cahoon. That's straight up, right? Dominic Cahoon solves the top 6 problem. You play him with his buddy Draisaitl, and you have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins play with Connor McDavid, and suddenly the top 6 is ferocious. You've got a scoring 3rd line, and you've got a role-playing 4th line. Dust your hands, you're good to go. Okay, great. Seems simple enough. Seems solid enough, and suddenly the Oilers are a contending team again. But again, depends on what the free agent market is, and let's circle back to what we talked about with Dominic Cahoon last night. Is a trade must happen first. And if you're Andreas Athanasiou, how far down will you go in salary if the Oilers have already supposedly suggested a $2 million plus contract for you, and now you've been on the open market for just over 2 weeks and signed nowhere for anything, and the market just keeps getting more grim by the day. I guess the question is, how much cap space do the Oilers have to work with when it comes to time to talk about Andreas Athanasiou and re-signing him again? And I mean, is that even a possibility? Probably not. More than honestly, Andreas Athanasiou has moved on and will not be an Oiler either for a long time or for at least the immediate future going forward. So, yeah, is what it is. But there is always the possibility we're wrong, right? And that's end of the day, always the hard part for Oilers fans is we think we've got it so figured out, but this Oilers team always throws us curveballs. And I think the ultimate curveball when it comes to Athanasiou and how this offseason's progressed is signing Athanasiou to a way cheaper deal than any of us could have imagined on a 1-year term, getting that cap space, signing Bear, and solving every single problem, or else going the Dominic Cahoon route. And those are two likely scenarios if we're talking solving the left wing issue. And that's the key, because there's a couple different things you could do with this roster when it comes to solving the last couple holes, right? Do you need an extra right-hand shot D, or is that Evan Bouchard? Do you need that left winger? Should you go grab an extra center? Do you need to figure out the right wing situation? Which of those 3 or 4 problems do you go out and solve? And I think the biggest one still outstanding for the Oilers is the left wing situation, because if you go to cap friendly, and this is where Athanasiou does help quite a bit, is providing that goal scoring depth and providing just that more veteran NHL depth on the left wing. For the Oilers, yeah, they've got Connor McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, who can play there on the top line or second line at left wing with Draisaitl and McDavid. You've got James Neal, who feels more comfortable at times on the right wing than the left wing. But again, James Neal, are you going to play him in high leverage situations or even in any role outside of the fourth line this year? Probably not, unless he finds a home on the third line. So you're looking, for that third line, fourth line player to round it out. You've got Josh Archibald, who we're now talking about flipping to his off wing on the left wing to play the third line. You've got Jujhar Khaira, which obviously, right, we'd like to upgrade that. So if you end up moving out Jujhar Khaira and leaving Joakim Nygard in Europe, you've got a hole on the left side that you'd like to fill. Tyler Ennis in there, and you can probably ice 3 to 4 left wingers already on the squad that what we've got, even with leaving Nygard and trading trading Khaira. But at the end of the day, you want to have that situation shored up, and that situation being shored up would definitely involve solving the left wing and having that depth, whether it be Cahoon or Athanasiou. And I think the big thing is, right, Athanasiou is a piece that we know what we're getting. You can work with it, you can use it, but I think end of the day, the question becomes, and I will leave you with this, is when it comes to Andreas Athanasiou and the Oilers, it's not term, it's not money, it's not fit. It is Dave Tippett, and if he wants him back. Yeah, sure, you can file that under the fit category, but when it comes to Athanasiou, if Dave Tippett wants him back and the Oilers can figure everything else out, he will be back. That is 100%. But I really don't think there's a strong urgency from Dave Tippett going into Ken Holland's office and saying, that's a guy I want back in my lineup. I mean, time remains to tell us what happens. But guys, that's where I'll turn it over to you in the comments section below. Let me know your thoughts kind of on this circling back to Athanasiou, right? If we're looking at Cahoon, a guy we got to circle back to and have a conversation like we did today about is Andreas Athanasiou. So I hope I've helped you have that conversation with yourself and with a friend or two. Guys, I'm Tyson, Dolynny TV, up on, out of here.